Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to kind of share my personal experience of using baby bottles. For those that are going to have a child, maybe this is interesting. For those that already had a child and you're like, oh yeah, I remember those days. This might be kind of a fun recap. We're like, oh, I wish I knew that. And I just feel like going through this feeding and using bottles, I've had all these nitpicks things and kind of my journey. So hopefully this can help someone out there when you're doing research on baby bottles and save yourself some money. Because like I spent, I spent too much money on getting these, and also just because I wasn't prepared and I got them a little bit too late. So what I have in front of me here is, we'll cut to this camera. We got a few here, the Como Tomo. We have the Bibs. We have the Dr. Brown's. This is the tall 251. And then I also have a Dr. Brown's 4 ounce, 120 milliliter. I'm going to unbox these two first, and then we'll dive into these two. This one, the Como Tomo, I don't have the box for it anymore. This is actually my sister's. And then the Bibs one here, I opened it already, and if I didn't open it, then I technically wouldn't even know what to say about it because I wouldn't be able to review it properly. These Dr. Brown ones, I have used these for quite a while. I just bought more. So yeah, long story short, when I was like a week, I guess a month or leading into like the birth of our child, I was like, oh, we need to get bottles. And then it's like, well, you don't really know because you don't know if you're going to be breastfeeding or if you're going to be bottle feeding. I do recommend like get some bottles because otherwise you're kind of scrounging around last minute and just being disorganized. That's one thing in hindsight. Like I wish I was a little bit more organized, and like there was tons of resources, and like everyone offered me tips and advice, and like I listened to it all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not too good for anything, but too good for them. Sorry, but I didn't do anything. I was always like, oh, it'll come, and I was busy with work, and I was like, I gotta tidy up work before I go. Take this time and be prepared because you're gonna regret it later. So get a few bottles. I mean, you can buy these from like Walmart, and if you end up not using them because you're 100% breastfed, you're breastfeeding, your wife's breastfeeding, like awesome, kick ass, and you don't need to go return them. But if you do end up doing like a hybrid system, triple feeding, which is you go you breastfeed, you bottle feed with formula, and then you pump. Or if you want to supplement with some formula, which is totally okay as well, guys. Don't be so stressed about just breastfeeding. It's good to just have some bottles so you're not last minute kind of panic mode. Anyways, coming back to it, quick tour of the Dr. Brown's. The Dr. Brown's, honestly, I think they look like hospital grade. And I don't mean that from like a good sense. Like, sometimes it's like, oh, industrial grade or space grade. I think they look like something that comes from the hospital. Very usable, very practical, but nothing beautiful about it. And it works. Natural flow, Dr. Brown's. I'll kind of talk about the inside of this little anti-colic. And I learned all this stuff too, but colic is like, in short, it's like for them to get a lot of air and they start getting gassy and they start crying. But I'll get into that in a second. One thing of all of these bottles, and like while I was like feeding our daughter, I always thought to myself, if I designed a bottle, I would make the slope of this shoulder a little bit more like sharp. Because when you're pouring, you always get residual milk stuck in this spot and you can't pour. And then you gotta like go like this, and then your child's like, "Whoa," it kind of like hurts their neck. It's just awkward. But if this was angled a little bit sharper, I think it'd be a bit better. Especially if it's like breast milk, because breast milk is like, I mean, for those that are pumping a whole lot, totally cool. But sometimes it's like, you're not pumping a whole lot, and it's stressful to like waste milk. Anyways, so this one thing I love about the Dr. Brown's, a lot of times I'm like holding baby in one hand, and I can only have one hand open this, and this, easy. They have this little groove here in the cap. Boom. Drop the lid. Who cares? Pick it up later. In, ready to go. So I love this feature of the Dr. Brown's here. Very small thing, but very, very appreciative of that. Second thing, of course, it comes with the nipple. These are silicone nipples. And this is a level 1. So quick tidbit here. If your child is a preemie, like before term, I think it's like 37 weeks to 42 is kind of within like good time. It's like preterm and like post-term, and 40 is like term. Like your baby should be 40 weeks old. And by should be, I'm like, that's just the norm. It doesn't really matter. But if your baby comes out earlier, there's something called a preemie. So there is a nipple called P. And so if you're trying to like, if you're breastfeeding and you don't have enough milk and you want to like supplement with a formula, you have to get like these other Dr. Brown ones called P, which is preemie. And this little hole is a lot smaller. So the baby needs to suck harder to simulate like working for the milk from the breast, from the nipple. This is a one. There's like there's there's a guide here. Yeah, so here's preemie. 1 is 0 to 3. Level 2 is 3 months plus. So I'm not quite there yet. I'm still at level 1. Maybe I'll go through the box actually. What this says. Made with super soft high grade silicone. The nipple. Contents: you get 2 bottles, 2 level 1 silicone cleaning brush, and instructions. Yeah. Use with or without vent. The vent is going to reduce colic, preserve vitamins. Interesting. Promote better sleep just because there's less gas. Support breastfeeding. Okay, sure. Remove vent. Baby feeds freely. No need to introduce different bottle. Okay. Designed to grow with the baby. Awesome. And then French. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So it comes with 2 bottles and instructions. The instructions are not super important. I don't think I've actually ever looked at them, but we'll go through this together. Comes with some, I guess, promotion for Dr. Brown's formula. I didn't even know Dr. Brown makes formula. Almost everyone in the world does Enfamil or Similac. But I mean, in Europe, I know there's a lot of other brands as well. But those are kind of the big ones that everyone kind of gives their babies. Here's the instruction book. You really don't need to like look through this. Prepping the bottles, what you want to do is use some soapy water, clean these, and then boil them in hot water for 10 minutes. All the parts, like the lid, the nipple, the collar, the thing inside, and the bottle. You want to boil them for 10 minutes. If you're fancy, which in the end my neighbor lent me one, I'm so thankful that she did. If you have the sanitization thing, get one. It's night and day. Boiling bottles, like it takes forever to wait for the bottle with the water to boil, which is fine. You put them in there. You need a big pot, which is fine. You can't wash a lot. Again, that's still okay. But drying them, it's impossible, especially the bigger bottle. So get yourself a dryer. They're like, you can buy it on Facebook Marketplace. You can buy it on eBay. My neighbor, again, she lent me hers. I ended up buying my own. Paid $45 for it. Best $45 ever spent. If you're super bougie and you want to get into like a bottle cleaner, there's like a few from like Mom Cozy or Bronzy, the Baby Razor, I think that one's like just okay. That's like a mini dishwasher. It's expensive, like $300, and you can't find those many years. I didn't end up getting one. I wanted it, but it's a bit too fancy. Okay, kind of disassembling this. So you got the bottle. One quick thing, segue here also. So I opted for glass bottles. Plastic bottles are a lot cheaper, and when you look on Facebook, if you're buying used bottles, which is again totally cool, I bought some used bottles. The plastic ones are fine, except know that there was a recall recently. I know they all say they're BPA free, but there was a recall recently on plastic bottles, and my friend sent me that. So I ended up getting glass bottles. Does it really matter? Not really, because like plastic, silicone, glass. So like when I sanitize them, everything I put together anyways. So this is like, it's like leaching into this anyway. So like, does it really matter? I don't know. But like, one thing is when I do put formula or milk in here, breast milk or formula in here, and I heat it, at least then I know that it's not like heating through the plastic BPA thing into the milk. So in the end, like, you'll try to do everything the best you can for your child. Of course, like money is always an issue, but like it's not that much more expensive. So again, I opted for the glass ones. I recommend you do the same, but you can do whatever you want. Whichever is more convenient, I guess you can say. For a while, these glass ones could not find them in Canada, so I had to buy them from the States. I ended up paying $50 for this one. I think I paid $50, which is absolutely ridiculous, and I ended up finding them at Walmart.ca at Walmart store. Coming into it, so this, what this does, I think it's a very good system. When the baby drinks here, because if you think about it, this is a closed system. So when you're sucking out and you're blowing back in, or most of when you're sucking out the milk, it's not always full. There's half of it is in air. You can look into the pace feeding, but what happens is, I'm not sure if there's a picture of it. The air comes in through here and then through here. So you'll see like this is like the air and then this is the milk going through. So the system works really well. A few more parts to clean, but in my opinion, well worth it. We'll talk about that in a second on the Bibs. Bibs does not have that. It also comes with this nice little cap here. A lot of times I'll just like cap it and then put it in the fridge because with the nipple there still is that air exposure, right? So yeah. One thing that I also love about the Dr. Brown's is you see inside here, this is kind of riveted. And then this here, this doesn't have it. So what happens is that this really bites down into the silicone nipple. You see that? Because few things, everyone complains, sorry, not everyone, there's a lot of complaints about the Dr. Brown's leaking. I've had like really good success. It will leak if anywhere here has water in it, right? The seal needs to be dry. If this is dry and you're like, you've pushed this again, it's good. You're not gonna have a leak. The other thing also is because this is like, it has all these like friction points, you don't need to be that worried about over torquing this. Because when you over torque this, I'll show you again with the Bibs, it's gonna bind the nipple and then it's gonna leak. So like, I'll show you what I mean. If you over torque the Bibs, I should show you the Bibs. When you over torque the Bibs, this becomes like this. So then it'll start leaking. And like if you're feeding breast milk and at first when you're just pumping, every drop is like liquid gold. That's what they call it. So I really like these Dr. Browns with that kind of like friction point to like prevent that need of like over, be so careful about like torquing it. Okay, so one other thing is I'll talk about this while I open the bigger one. It's basically the same. One thing is also is at first I couldn't find the little ones and they're much more convenient because when your baby is like 6 pounds and like just a piece of rice really small, it looks really stupid to be feeding them with a big bottle like this one. But word of caution is like by the time your baby is about 2 to 3 months, they will be eating anywhere from like 120 to 150 milliliters, and this only goes up to 120, right? So like, don't be too shy to buy some of the big ones too. At first, like I was feeding with this big ass and we're feeding her like 30 to 50 and it looks so stupid because it's just here and you waste a lot because it's like kind of coated on the side of the glass. But again, have some larger ones because you never know when at that one point. I have a ton of the small ones now and I only have like a few of the large ones. That's why I bought a few more of these large ones. So that's kind of some word of advice here. Yeah, so those are the two Dr. Browns. It comes with this little cleaner thing. It is useful. Like I bought another one that's a little more robust because I think this is too dinky. But you put this into the nipple and kind of do that. And then also for this here, I cleaned the inside of this green little vent. And again, make sure when you do clean this, guys, just use a little bit soapy water like that. And then I do kind of like get into this part as well. And then you end up sanitizing them in hot water. So you'll get used to it the more you wash and hand wash. And if you have the washing machine, awesome. But if not, you get pretty good at it after a while. Like you do all the balls first, you do all the collars and the lid, and then the nipple, and then this and this. You get pretty fast at it after a while. So anyhow, so those are the two Dr. Browns. Honestly, like I'm not sponsored, I'm not endorsed. I bought these all with my own money. I don't even have an Amazon affiliate link. I just bought them on Amazon, but they do sell them at Walmart. It's a lot cheaper, and you can return it. You can return on Amazon too, but like it's just not as easy. So those are the Dr. Browns. This one here, so my sister lent me this on the Como Tomo. She loved this one, and the reason she loved this one is it's really large and easy to clean, which is very true. One thing that I didn't like about the Como Tomo was one, these are really faint and hard to see how much you have in here. Second, this silicone, like, it's good, you know, the baby can drop it, no issues, but because it doesn't sit very smooth, you might spill, and that's actually what happened to my sister. She was a bit clumsy one day and spilled the milk, and like, that will just like make you very, very sad. It has this nice groove as well, so you can take the lid off quite easily. It has a nice little kind of like tab there to push it closed. Really big nipple, which in my opinion makes it a little bit annoying to wash. Nipple shape is also very important because there's a lot where like the Philips Advent is well known that people, if you want to like transition back to breastfeeding, the Philips Advent, this is what people say, the nipple isn't shaped that much like a like a human nipple, like a breastfeeding nipple, so it's not the best for them to like, kind of like jump from the two. This is the Como Tomo. Like I used it once. My sister loved them. I didn't think they were great, and very easy to wash. Yes, because it's the largeness, but I would pass on it. Tell you the truth. Last one here, guys. I'm kind of rambling on here. Just love my personal experience and all that stuff. So I ended up buying these because I couldn't find the small Dr. Brown ones. And so this is award winner, Red Dot winner, 2023. Cool. Designed in Denmark. As I say, nothing ugly ever came out of Denmark. Round natural rubber. I do like the round natural rubber. It feels really good. And when my daughter was eating off this, she did like this nipple more than the silicone as well. But as you see this, like, it's like funky shaped. It's not as nice as in my opinion, the Dr. Brown. Slow flow. But the slow flow is still quite fast. When she was drinking this, it was like a treat. She was like, whoa, it's like so easy to eat. So they're not as small as the premium. This is, I think, maybe a little bit faster than the level 1. Baby glass bottle complete set. Bibs, very cute, since 1978, 0 months. Designed to reduce colic, sure. Complete set, so you get the lid, the collar, the nipple, this little cap, bottle, and you get this. This is like stupid. It's here so they can, whenever you warm your milk, you put on here, but it's so flimsy. Like, just don't use this. It's just stupid. Just put it on the countertop. Yeah, they're all made from 100% food grades, sure. Laboratory glass. Nipple resembles a mother's nipple. It's cool. Reduce air. Nipple is from rubber. Yeah, sweet. A lot more writing, blah, 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 boring, boring. So, again, I had this open already and I used these, so there's no instruction manual in here. Well, maybe there wasn't, I threw it. Whatever, not important. So, one thing I absolutely hated about the Bibs, and like, Bibs, if you guys ever watch this video, fix this. This is... See, you see, I'm struggling now. Imagine doing it with one hand, impossible. Imagine doing it when your baby's crying. There we go. It is so difficult to take this lid off. So difficult. Like, Bibs, you guys gotta fix this. It's just unacceptable. This lid is actually quite nice. I like it better than the... It looks better than the Dr. Brown's flat. So, here we go. If we take a look in the inside, see, this is the difference between this one and the Dr. Brown's. This one doesn't have that. And as a result, and maybe also because, no, yeah, so it doesn't have that. So this, what happens is you need to be very careful. you need to be very careful when you put this on to not over torque it. It's quite cute though right there. So what I found is you can, this is what I, through experience, and it was kind of funny. My wife was laughing at me. I said, okay, we're going to put this on and then I'm going to test it. I'm going to suck the water out of it and see if it leaks. So I found you kind of get it to its touching, okay? Get it to its touching. And I use this and I go like this. I do one thumb over and that's good. I probably did it too much because again, you don't want this to bind on that top part, otherwise it's going to leak. A lot of people ask online if these are compatible with the Dr. Brown nipples. It is because you have the collar, but again, you need to be very careful. You need to like make sure you don't over torque this because otherwise it's gonna leak. And like it's just sad when it leaks. So then your child doesn't get the milk, and then your mom's your if I doubt women are gonna watch this, but if you're because I have like 0 female subscribers. Anyways, if your wife finds that breast milk leaked, she's gonna be sad. It's just sad. Okay, it's liquid gold, I tell you. So, anyways, coming back to it. In general, if you can find the Dr. Browns, don't buy the bibs. That's my conclusion. If you can't find it, the bibs aren't bad. Bibs, I didn't see that they sell preemie nipples. Again, this flow is too fast. The cap just doesn't work. I've never used it with a cap. I just always ran with this, which is annoying because this is now exposed, right? So like if I touch something and like, you know, the child's young and very sensitive system, low immune system, it's just like these bib bottle, what I ended up using them for was storage. Like after my wife pumped, she would store milk in these, and I just capped these off and did this. So I think the Bibs bottles look cute. Love the color, love the pastel, beautiful looking, but they were just not practical, which is very unfortunate because I was really hoping that they would work. I mean, they're not cheap either. I spent good money on them. But they are glass. There's not too many glass bottles out there. These were one of them. So that's why I ended up buying these. Again, disappointed. I'm going to try to sell these for very cheap. And I will tell the person that buys them from me too, like, careful, don't torque this too hard. Okay, 2 other actually complaints. And Bibs, if you're watching this, 2 other complaints here. They talk about how they have this anti-colic system. You know, maybe every baby's different, but when I was feeding my daughter, I could see a whole bunch of foam bubbling up in here because it doesn't have that system that Dr. Brown says. Hey, one other thing I want to tell you is this vent tube is too long for this. I wanted to move this over here and try to use it. It's too long. It doesn't work. You can trim this, but the point is you want this pretty close to the bottom of the bottle. So if you trim, it's fine, but then you can't really use it as well in the Dr. Brown's. It's going to be like permanent for the bibs. So coming back to this, feeding. 2 things here. One is the vent. There's so many bubbles in here. It's just like, I could tell like she was breathing a lot of, eating a lot of air. Second thing is because this rubber is a little bit soft, it ends up getting deformed. And like, I don't know, maybe my child, she was just like sucking really hard because she was mostly breastfed when she was like 1 or 2 weeks old. It would come mangled like that, and I had to take a break, let it reform because the milk wouldn't flow through it. So it just didn't work as good because it's not as it wasn't as straight or as strong, I guess, as the Dr. Brown's. So yeah, that was a big issue for me, and I really couldn't figure out like how to fix it. I tried very hard. So anyhow, one thing though I have to give Dr. Brown's credit for. One thing I have to give Bibs credit for is you see the shoulder. It is a little bit more slanted than the Bibs, so it is better. That's like one of the things that I was saying that they should have done that. I would even make it more slanted, like, you know, like that. But this is really good because you don't waste as much milk there. You don't have to tilt it as high to get the rest of it out. Anyhow, there's my in-depth review of the Bibs. Just insanely difficult. to put this on. Okay. There's my review of the Bibs, Como Tomo, and Dr. Brown's baby bottles. Hope this was helpful for you guys. 25 minutes, and happy feeding, and know that it's a lot of work for all the dudes out there that are helping feed, or if you're in a triple feeding like what we're doing. It's a lot of work, and it's tiring, but do your best to support your partner. And they may not appreciate it at the time, but I think in the long run they'll know and realize like it's very helpful. It's very difficult to triple feed if you don't have two people, and there's also all the other stuff that needs to be done around the house, like cooking, cleaning, etc., diaper changes. So anyhow, that's it. I'm gonna end it here. Thank you guys for watching. A little bit different than my usual videos, but I've learned so much about bottles that I really wanted to like share this information with everyone else that's getting into it. So on that note, we're gonna get out of here, and we'll get back to it. Thanks. Talk soon, guys. Bye.